Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT. I'm a certified Zentangle teacher, and welcome to Not Perfect Zen. Hope you're having a great day. And before I forget, here's my contact information. You can email me here if you want to share your tiles. If you share on social media, please use this at @BBL_tangles, and then both Facebook and Instagram will notify me. And in the Zentangle Mosaic app, I am BB Langston CZT 34, and that means I went to the 34th session of the CZT seminars. All right, and again, this is the 20th anniversary of teaching Zentangle, and they began their seminars in 2004, and all this year they're doing things to talk about the beginning of Zentangle. And there was a blog that came out maybe yesterday, and they talked about icso. A lot of times you see it written as the letter I, a small I. But they're just talking about the basic elements of Zentangle being a dot, a line, and that can be straight or almost straight, a C curve, an S curve, and an orb. And they say orb because if you say it's got to be a circle, you picture a perfect circle. And I just thought, since that blog just came out, that I would like to show you two patterns that use that specifically to teach. And one is OCSIDOT by Sandy Kelley-Jones. She's a CZT, and she's a wonderful friend of mine, and she inspired me to go to the CZT seminar. In fact, she went with me. And the other one is called DICSO, D-I-C-S-O, by Mina, and I'm not sure how to say her last name, but she is the one that deconstructed that pattern. And I think you'll enjoy this. It's going to be a little bit different the way that I'm going to put this together, but you know, I just like to have fun with my tiles. I don't necessarily create the most fantastic Zentangle inspired art, but I do have fun and I enjoy teaching you. Okay, so Sandy gave me permission to show you the step outs, and it starts with the letter O. So here's the O, then you have C curves. And in the next steps, we're going to add an S curve inside of that. And she does that twice. And then she adds these little petals. And now comes the dots and the lines. And you come up with this beautiful little flower. Okay? I think it's a really cool pattern. Let's zoom in. A little bit too much. Okay, so I'm not going to put the corner dots and borders on here because I want to allow us room to use the whole tile. And again, hers is OCSIDOT. So let's start with the O, orb. Rather, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but we're going to put an orb. And the C curves, we're going to put that on each side. And we're going to put 8. I'm going to do it this way initially because it helps me to space them out. Okay, now let's put one in between these. And mine are not exactly the same size or height, but it's okay. Now, I made that one a little bit skinny, which makes it not as easy to put the S curve inside, but it's okay. So inside of each of these little seed shapes that we have now, we're just going to put a little S. Okay. Kind of a long S curve. Oop. I like how it divides this up. Okay. If you do this on a bigger tile, it might be a little bit easier, but it's still just fine like this. Okay, so now we're going to do those C curves again, but we're going to make them taller. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put my little S in there. We're going to do another one down here. From the beginning, Rick and Maria said when they went to teach this that if you could write your name, you could draw a Zentangle. And that's how they came up with these basic elements. Okay. So again, these next sets of these C curves are a little bit taller than the first ones. Okay, so we have done the first 3 steps. You can see that these are a little bit longer. And now we're going to put these little petals. And they come off of these taller shapes. And all we're going to do is come up, do a little loop, and come back down. And then we put a little dot and some straight lines there in the center. Okay, so we're just going to continue going around like that. You could do all these petals first and then come back. Well, let's just go ahead and do this. That way I'm not spinning the tile too much for you. One of the things that attracted me to Zentangle was the simplicity of the patterns. I think there's plenty of patterns out there that are very complicated, but I prefer the easier ones that help me to relax. And this one is definitely easy and beautiful. Oops, that one's kind of off. No mistakes. You need to concentrate instead of talking. Put your little loop right above that other petal. It'll work out just fine. Okay. Really cool, huh? I think it's just such a pretty pattern. And again, we started out with the O. We used the C shapes, then the S, and the I, and the dot. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, on this next one, it is called DICSO, DICSO. And the way that one works, it is meant to be a continuous line pattern, but it actually goes in this order: the dot, the line, the C shape, the S, and then the O. And I'm going to show you one here. Just a simple one. There's your dot, your line. I'm going to make this one kind of big. There's your C shape. Here comes your S shape. And then here's your orb. Okay? And like I said, it can be one continuous line. You don't have to pick up your pen. Again, it's a dot, a line, a C, an S, and an orb. Excuse me. And then you can do it again. Dot, line, C, S, and O. Dot, line, C, S, and O. I think it's such a fun pattern. I'm going to put that inside here. Well, between these petals. So we're going to start with dot, line, C, S, and O. Okay, let's do another one. By the time we finish, you'll have it memorized. Dot, line, C, S, and O. Dot, line, C, S, and O. Okay? Probably should have had that one a little bit further away. Dot, line, C, S, and O. I won't make you listen to me every time. It's just such a simple little pattern. And I love that it's a continuous line. And I have done these in clusters. If you look up that pattern, there's lots of cool ways that people have done it. This one, again, is very relaxing to me. And again, you can do this just once. You don't have to do this triple. And one more orb. I was trying to come up with a clever way of combining these, and I wasn't sure what to do, so this is how my simple mind works. And that's okay. Okay. We're just going to go around repeating this. I don't speed up my videos. If this is too repetitious, you can fast forward to where I do the shading, or you can draw along with me. I do try to make it so that you can, if you'd like, pause the video when needed. I also do not add music because I personally find it to be very distracting, and I tried it once and it was a fail because the music ended up being too loud, and I did have some comments. And if you find that video, there is a apology in the title that says, please forgive the music. And after that, I didn't do it again, except just in the very beginning of the video when I edit it. All right. I hope you enjoy this. I am enjoying the 20th anniversary of Zentangle. I tend to focus on the more simple patterns and tiles. There are so many super talented Zentangle artists out there who produce some awesome Zentangle inspired art. Mine is simple patterns put together. Okay, there's our last C, the S, and another O. Okay, it's a little busy, but as always, take these ideas and make them your own, okay? So I'm going to give you an idea of something to do in the corner. I'm going to go ahead here and put my orb, okay? So you can do this pattern in whatever way works best for you. There's that. Okay, so there's a way to put just a couple of single ones together. And I'm going to let them share that orb. Okay, so let's put one over here. There's our C shape, our S. Already got our orb. Okay. Next corner. So we have our orb, line, dot, C, and S. These make really pretty clusters, almost like a flower, if you put several of them together. So I do have a journal that I'm working in for the 20th anniversary, and I'm going to decorate it with some of these patterns. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to go into the center of this, and where we have little openings between these petals, or these little seed shapes, I like to fill them in just a little bit. Not much. Okay. Just kind of helps to pull this together in the center. Oops, and then I'm just gonna bring this in a little bit. Just trying to kind of even it out. Oops, no mistakes, right? Okay, let's do some shading. I never did say I was using my Micron 01. I have my graphite pencil, and I have my tortillon, or blending stump, however you want to call it. And I have this in here to keep the tip at a point. So I think I'm going to go inside of this and just add some graphite up here at the top, and then soften it, and then just kind of keep coming down a little bit. You've got enough graphite on your tortillon to keep just pulling it down, and it will give it kind of a gemstone effect in the center. And then I'm going to put graphite on the outside of these petals. Okay. I like to do just very simple shading. And as you go along and you're doing your art, if you have something that comes to mind and you think, well, what if I did this and what if I did that? Go ahead and try it. I mean, it's your art, it's your tile or your sketchbook, whatever you're working in. Just play with it. And the reason I was saying that, after I finish this, I'll show you. I was thinking, what if we just go ahead and pull this up only on one side. You could add a little bit more graphite in there if you want. I think I've got enough just to make that difference. Okay. I like that. Looks kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty. And for the patterns here, I think I'm just going to put, let's try just a little graphite at the bottom of these. and then kind of pull it up on the sides. Okay. So just a little bit here along the bottom. These would be pretty in color. I do know some of you who are going to add fantastic colors to this, and I look forward to seeing it. Okay, let's just go ahead. I thought maybe I had enough graphite on my blending stump, but I did not. I tend to say blending stump because I do know there are some people who use the closed captioning, and when I say blending stump and I look at the, I mean when I say tortillon, the closed captioning changes it to tortilla. And so that's why I usually say both of them. All right, now let's just kind of soften these along the bottom. And just kind of pull it up on the sides. Soften it so you don't have a harsh edge on your graphite. All right, and let's put, how do we want to do these? I think I'm going to do it like that. In fact, you could, here's a what if that came to mind. Rather than fill that in, let's turn these black. Just for fun. Another what if. It's still an orb, but we filled it in. Cool. Gave it a little bit of drama out there on that corner. And then a little bit of graphite here. Again, these are really pretty when you put, whether it's the singles, or you could do these with just 2 lines on the inside and 2 auras. Can do it however you want. And I do think there's some other patterns in tanglepatterns.com that demonstrate the same thing as far as using the dot, line, curve, S, and orb specifically in the pattern. There you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I probably should have made these a little bit further away from this flower, but you can still see it and duplicate it on your tile. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will put a link to the blog in the description, and I will put a picture of the step out in the video also, which you will have already seen before I get to this point. But I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you're enjoying the 20th anniversary of Zentangle, and I will see you again soon. Thank you. Bye.